You don't rewatch The Fellowship of the Ring for surprises. You rewatch it for comfort, for the music, for the march of the Fellowship. But look closer, because buried inside those familiar scenes are details so intentional, so technically precise. They turn this from a fantasy film into a masterclass in world building. Here are 7 hidden elements you probably never noticed. 1 ring, 0 shortcuts. The inscription that actually works. When the one ring hits the fire and molten letters ignite across its surface, those markings aren't decorative symbols. The inscription is written in the black speech of Mordor, using Tolkien's Tengwar script, linguistically accurate to Tolkien's original text. The production consulted language experts to ensure pronunciation and written structure matched Tolkien's constructed languages. That means the glowing words are fully translatable, letter by letter, exactly as written in the novel's appendices. It flashes by in seconds, but it's a functioning piece of a fictional language system built with real linguistic rules. Aragorn versus actual physics. Yes, that knife was real. During the battle at Amon Hen, a stunt performer threw a real knife toward Viggo Mortensen. Mortensen reacted instinctively and deflected it with his sword. The take used in the final film is that genuine moment. If you watch closely, there's no dramatic wind-up or cinematic exaggeration. It's a fast, sharp movement, blade, contact, deflection, all unfolding in real time. It's not enhanced, it's not replaced. It happened. The Shire took a year off. Because grass doesn't grow on cue. Hobbiton was constructed in Matamata, New Zealand, a full year before filming began. Production intentionally delayed shooting so real grass and gardens could grow naturally over the hobbit holes. The hills weren't carpeted with artificial turf. The moss wasn't glued in place days before filming. Nature was given time to settle into the landscape. By the time cameras rolled, the Shire had already lived through seasons. Boromir versus the mountain. No green screen, just gravity. For the snowy Karathras sequence, Sean Bean avoided helicopter travel and instead hiked up the mountain in full Boromir costume. That included layered armor and gear, sometimes with his script taped to his knee during the climb. The snow, the altitude, the wind, all real environmental conditions. When you see Boromir pushing upward through the storm, the setting isn't simulated. It's a cast member physically climbing a mountain in costume. Big wizard energy, no CGI required. Forced perspective greater than digital scaling. The height difference between Gandalf and the hobbits inside Bag End was achieved primarily through forced perspective. 2 differently scaled sets were constructed. Camera tracks were precisely aligned. Actors hit exact marks to preserve the illusion. If someone leaned too far forward, the effect would break. Instead of shrinking actors digitally, the production engineered the illusion directly in camera, using geometry and distance. What you're seeing is physics, perspective, and meticulous blocking, not resizing software. Heavy lies the Dark Lord. That armor had actual weight. For the Last Alliance prologue battle, Weta Workshop created thousands of pieces of armor, with many hero suits constructed from real metal rather than foam. Across the trilogy, more than 48,000 individual armor components were produced. Metal was heavier, more expensive, and more difficult to manage on set, but it produced authentic sound and movement. When Sauron steps onto the battlefield, that density isn't implied. It's built into the materials. 9 walked into a tattoo parlor, and it wasn't a publicity stunt. During filming, 9 members of the Fellowship cast got matching tattoos of the Elvish word for 9 in Tengwar script. John Rhys Davies chose not to get one, but his stunt double did. The tattoos weren't mandated by the studio and weren't part of marketing. They were personal. The word 9, written in the same script seen elsewhere in the film, permanently marking the actors who carried the story forward together. No shortcuts, no decorative details, no half measures. You may not consciously notice it, but you feel it. That's why the Fellowship of the Ring doesn't feel filmed. It feels forged. And that's the difference between watching a world and believing one. If you want more hidden details like this, join the Fellowship and subscribe to the Trivix. One channel to rule them all.